Is this spinning? Probably.
I love the eyeball one.
It's my favorite one. Okay, we have a little closet here, a little built-in. Also, we have Tofu here. It's also her cat bed. Do you want to see the baby? I'll try not to disturb her too much. I'm like, can you see her? She's so cute. Okay, let's see. Okay, this I've been wearing so much. I just got it back in like November. I had to stop myself from wearing this today because I was trying to diversify what I was wearing, but this is also something I wear all the time, so. Yeah, so I think like in high school, because of the circumstances I was in, I wasn't able to afford to like dress more trendy, so I kind of wore whatever and like had fun with it and like saw how exciting it was. But then when I went to college, those pressures came back again of like wanting to fit in and wanting to be trendy, and I like invested a lot of my first paychecks into trying to keep up with that, but then it didn't make me happy and didn't give me the results I wanted, and I felt really terrible. And I think in the middle of that, I started learning about sustainability and wanted to like have a more sustainable wardrobe. And I feel like that kind of led me back into focusing on personal style without really even knowing what that verbiage was, which is kind of focusing on what made me feel good in my own skin and how that made me better interact with the world around me too, was like how I dress and how I felt really helped me be able to like achieve and just be able to achieve like a better world. Like it's like taking care of yourself first before you take care of others. And I feel like with dressing, that's kind of how it became, where I'm like, if I'm wearing what makes me feel good, I'm able to be a better person and be able to like take care of other people, because I think clothing not only communicates to other people what you're thinking, but I feel like it kind of like communicates with yourself how you're feeling, what you're into, what's what. And I feel like if you're able to feel brave and feel comfortable in your own skin, your own clothes, like you're able to translate that to a larger scale.
Perfect, it's so pretty.
Let me double check. Do I need this? No. Oh, there's the clip I was looking for. Oh, cute. Okay, great. I think I'll see this. And let me grab these socks I got, and I've been literally wearing them to the ground. I already have a hole in them, but they're so cute.
They're so cute.
They're these like pink wool socks from Colorful Standard, and got a little hole in them that I need to fix up. Gonna do my best to sew this girly up because she deserves it. Yeah, I guess it's just like seeing it from a way where like you don't have to compromise your ambitions and dreams and style in order to care about people. Like it could really be one and the same, and more often than not it actually is one and the same. Like I feel like you're able to have true creativity at the heart of sustainability, because sustainability has like so many limitations within it, and I think like a lot of limitations enhances creativity. And again, you were able to see like little Jazz was able to put together these really funky things that, you know, may or may not be good, but she had so much fun with it and adored and took care of those pieces because there was like so much heart in it. And so I think that you can kind of see that a lot with my work now, where I try to make sustainability, like have it be reframed in people's minds, that it's not something to be scared of interacting with. It's like any other creative medium you have out there, where like you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna mess up, but also you're gonna have some beautiful things come out of it. Like you're gonna hit a wall, these things are gonna happen, but also like you're gonna come to conclusions that you would never guess were possible, or like solutions to things, or like I don't know, just like it's just so creative, you would never guess where it would take you. like even the job that I have now, like I think that speaks to itself where like I had a limitation of wanting to only work with like sustainable businesses and I had no idea what that looks like. And now I have a full-time job that's all about that. Like that didn't exist when I first started off into all this, you know? Oh, look how cute it turned out. I mean, it's still a little funny, but it's cute. We love her. I also use the same kettle to water my plants as I do to make myself coffee, water myself. Sometimes I forget to actually water it because it's already in there.
Yeah.
I think very early on into my sustainability journey, and especially once I entered into this new content creation type space, I felt very pressured to have to be a perfect environmentalist and perfect sustainability advocate, whatever that looked like. Like I was like really on top of myself about every aspect of everything, and I was honestly like really hard on my community and hard on myself, and I just noticed that over time that like being that way just like was so exhausting, and also just kind of felt like it defeated the purpose of like the world that we're like trying to create, because so much energy being put towards policing one another and having to be perfect. But then it's like the more you learn about sustainability and the systems that we live in, it's absolutely impossible to be 100% perfect. And I think I had a moment with myself where I was sobbing to that realization where like I just feel like no matter what I do, no matter what job I work in, I'm gonna be failing in some regard, in some way. Like it's not gonna be perfect. And I think I realized that like, hey, like in a perfect world, if I was able to be 100% ethical, 100% like perfect and sustainable and all these things, I would. And I was like, yeah, I would. So that's how I'm operating now, and that's my mindset now. And the fact that I think so hard and work so hard for that to be possible, I'm already doing the best that I can, and I can't ask for myself to do anything more. Let me put my puffer on first. Yay! This is cute. I can't remember the first time I went thrifting, but it's something that has been really near to my family, like very near and dear to my family ever since I was little. And I could just remember going up and down the aisles with my mom and my siblings, and we're just kind of sifting through stuff and finding really funky things. And things were only like $1 then, which is so wild to think about now. But I think it's interesting, like the mindset that I had behind it then was just like, how can I find a certain thing for the cheapest possible, which I still have, you know, that to this day. I obviously love a good deal on a thrift find, but I think it was in a more of a mindset of a fast fashion way where I was like, oh, I really want to dress and I want to find it for as cheap as I can, and thrifting was more of that realm, and I would buy as much as I can and buy bagfuls of those things just because they were at hand. And I feel like now with thrifting, I'm a lot more intentional even with those things, and also like trying to think about like the stories behind them and how many times can I rewear this and where is this going to be going after I purchase it. And I think it's just a lot more intention involved in it, which I think that's just how I approach fashion in general, but I think with thrifting, to see it even evolve to like seeing a lot more care be taken into place, I think is really, really fun and really cute to be able to see that evolution happen, you know? I think that's like a nuanced topic and one of those things where like we can harp on one another for doing that, but I definitely think it goes back to what I think people are really asking for is intentionality with these things, because I think you'll see a lot of influencers like that approach thrifting like they do fast fashion, in a sense where they buy as much as they can for as cheap as they can, and they don't think about actually wearing it or what's going to happen or da 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 da. And I think that's room for improvement in those ways. But I also will always think that thrifting is significantly better than someone buying fast fashion, so I would much rather them do that anyway. And I also think there's just like, I think also with it, it's again, I think a cry for people to have those people be intentional about the communities that they're being a part of, and like where are they going for thrifting, and like it's kind of like taking the person outside of just themselves, but like having to really think about the community that they're being a part of and that they're interacting with and where they're getting those clothes from, because I feel like it's again just like a great disconnect between that. But I also think at the end of the day, there's so much clothes that are still being thrown away, that are being shipped to the global south, that really need to be taken in and like taken back from all those things. So I think for someone to like tell someone not to shop secondhand and not offer another solution beyond that, I think is not helpful. Yeah, if anything, it actually helps those, especially if she's going to the global south and taking it. That's such a relief on them, because it's ruining their economies, having everything be sent down to there. It's ruining like their communities where they're not able to sell, because it's like they're not able to compete in pricing for what the secondhand clothes cost, and plus it's clogging up their waterways and their ecosystems and things like that. Like it's horrific out there. It's no one out there is complaining if you're taking that secondhand clothes. No one out there is doing that. Only way we get through one another is through storytelling and art. That's the only way you're going to change anybody. Like, you're not going to shame anybody. You can't fact anybody into anything. Like, no one's going to care until like you touch their heart and you're actually able to like tell a story, you know? I think it's more so showing other stories, because I feel like the fashion industry, our governments all tell us stories of like, you need to buy this in order to feel this way, and that this thing's happening this way, and this is actually not a big deal. And I think these larger systems that we're trying to dismantle are actually some of the best storytellers, and we just have to outstory them. We don't have enough of us telling these new narratives. They're not even new narratives, but being able to tell these narratives and like support these narratives that are more positive ones are the only way that we're going to combat like what they're doing. Yeah, and that, I think even with sustainability, like I feel like that's what my job is, where it's like, hey, I'm aware of all these giant systems and all these nuanced conversations and all these hot takes that are out there, but we're just going to focus on one thing at a time. And if you're interested in like discovering more about something, here's somebody else you can like listen to who specializes in that thing, and you can talk to this person, this community event. There's this, you know, like it's building a network of people like that. But I think it takes all of us being able to come together, have these kind of conversations and stories that like are what we need to have like a better future.